Welcome back to Brassic Classics, and today it's time to get the VW T25 out again. It's been in winter hibernation. I had a few problems with glow plugs and a few other issues that turned out to be nothing to do with the glow plugs. The relay had burnt out, so I replaced that, but the real problem was I'm an idiot. That was the real problem. And a big thank you to Steve, as ever, for making me realise that. Anyway, I've just taxed the van and we're going to head over to the workshop. I've got no alternator belt on the van at the moment, so I've got a spare battery just in case. Yeah, it's about 2 years ago since I drove this van to Stuttgart, and on the way I picked up a hitchhiker from Germany called Robin. Hi Robin, how you doing? And we went to Cologne. That was good fun. Which did make me late for my girlfriend's graduation. I'm not perfect, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going to bring you in closer, show you what I did wrong. I'll do that once I get to the farm, because this is the first trip I've done in this van on the road in probably a year, so I have that slightly classic car nerves. I've got a tow rope, I've got Steve's phone number, so here we go. Wish me luck. See you in a minute. Okay, so we've a good start. The van's running. I'm really nervous. How bad is that? I've driven this car thousands of miles across Europe and I'm nervous about driving it to my workshop. This is kind of the problem you have when you have a van, or you have any classic car that's let you down. You have to get over that fear of it doing it again. So here we go. Well, we're moving. There is quite a lot of rubbish in the back, so that's why it's rattling a bit. Anyway, we'll see you when we get there. So we're just about reached Whitstable, and I have to say I've forgotten how loud this van is. I'm used to driving the Audi A6, and this is not that. I'm also finding I've got range issues. I've forgotten how reliable the fuel gauge is, so I'm worried about breaking down, running out of fuel. Yeah, it's standard VW stuff, this. I did get away from motorcycling, which is cool. But so far, we haven't blown up, we haven't overheated, and we haven't run out of electricity yet. So I'm saying a win so far. Okay, so we're cruising along at about 65. Everything seems okay. I'm beginning to feel slightly more relaxed. I'm still a little bit worried about the fuel, but we are nearly there. The workshop's about 10 minutes from Linden Hill Race Circuit, which is just outside Dover. But yeah, so far, fingers crossed, we're okay. I'll come back when I'm heading down the country roads towards the workshop. Lovely day though. Okay, so we made it off the motorway, which was a big relief. Yeah, the anxiety of driving a classic car that you've had issues with, you've slightly lost faith in at some point, it's bad. It's a bad anxiety to have. And I've just been on the motorway for 35 minutes, and you find yourself watching the temperature gauge. I'm running out of fuel, and then you find yourself thinking, well, do I pull over at the next petrol station, or? But then you worry, well, if I pull over and I turn it off, will it start again? So I decided against that and just kept going, and decided if I ran out of fuel, then I run out of fuel, I'll sort that out. Yeah, I think this real fear came when I did the Austria trip and the water pump blew up, and then we continued on the trip in a hire car, and then picked the van up from the garage on the way back. And on the way back, it turned out they hadn't replaced the thermostat, so then the van overheated again, and I ended up at the side of the road trying to put this all back together. I'll put a picture here now. And then had to drive 3 hours back to Cologne with Sophia in the car, and we were very stressed. And at one point we were on the motorway in single lane roadworks, and the pressure was too much there. Because if you break down, you're on an autobahn with one lane, it would have been horrendous. So I quickly got off and we ended up going back through the Eiffel region, all through the back roads, and we got back to her house about 11 o'clock. It only took about 17-18 hours to get home from Austria, which for me is not bad going, let's be honest. So yeah, ever since then I've been a little bit, I'm still not convinced that the cooling system is working properly, because on the trip over here it still went to nearly 3/4, and I've got no thermostat, and I took the thermostat out and removed that. So I'm beginning to wonder whether my radiator has just seen better days. Maybe it's just corroded and just full up with rubbish, I don't know. That's definitely something we're going to have a look at. But yeah, so I'm just going to continue driving now down to the workshop. I'm in the beautiful Kent countryside just outside of Dover, and yeah, you can come along for the ride. I've not got the original engine in this van. It's a 1.9 non-turbo diesel from what I think probably would have been a Mark IV Golf. I mean, it goes quite nicely. It cruises at like 60, 65. There's a lot of other noises to worry about before I worry about that. I think we've got enough fuel, we should be able to get there on the fumes. But as you can see, I'll just turn the camera a little bit. Beautiful countryside. Not a bad view from a T25. So we should be at the workshop in about 5 minutes. But I'm going to shut up and just let you enjoy the countryside for a bit. At the moment with the coronavirus outbreak, a lot of people are stuck in, which I know a lot of people have found, extremely tough. I've been lucky enough to have the workshop where there's a very limited amount of people there, really, so it's relatively risk-free. Some cyclists, and a car. This can happen in the countryside, but I think we've got enough room. He really didn't want to get over. Anyway, we're still going. Lovely valley down there. And yeah, like I was saying, I know a lot of people are finding this particularly tough. Sophia, my girlfriend, she went back to Germany, back to Cologne, because she normally lives in the centre of London. And yeah, I think the reality of thinking, what's it going to be like to be in an apartment with no garden, no outside space, and an hour's worth of recreational time a day? And yeah, we both agreed it was probably a good decision to head back to Germany. But yeah, if you are finding it tough, I sympathise with you. But we are getting there. We will get through this, and normal life will resume. And I'm sure hopefully everyone will be a lot more tolerant of each other after this. I think it definitely brings into perspective what's actually important in life. Anyway, it's enough of me rambling on. I'll come back when I've reached the workshop. So we made it to the workshop, and now it's time to change the alternator belt. Got some tools ready. Here we are. If we have a look down here, there's the alternator obviously, and there's the pulley, and down there you can just about see the other pulley which you've got to connect to. I had to take this other belt off in order to get the alternator pulley on this rear section of this pulley here. So what I'm going to do is set the camera up on the tripod and crack on. Wish me luck. Okay, so I've just removed the main belt, which obviously goes on here and on that first groove there. If you look over here, this is where the alternator belt sits. It comes down to here, this one. I've taken 2 bolts out of here, but I've left one in, as you can see. That's because in this gap are a load of spacers. And if you take out the 3rd bolt, they fall out and they're a nightmare to get back in. And with 2 out, you can wiggle the remaining belt off, as I've done here. It's not too hard and it saves you loads of time. So yeah, just a quick tip there. As you can see, there's your spacers. Now what I'm going to do is just fit the new belt, and then we should be good to go. Then it's just a case of tightening back up the pulley with the spacers. You have to get the tension right, how tight you do the 3 bolts, otherwise it squeals uncontrollably. But we'll get this done in a minute. Okay, so I've just replaced the 3 hex bolts there, which are quite awkward to do because you have to go through the oil flap here. Can't get to it from underneath because the exhaust is in the way. So I'm just going to torque these up and then we'll see how it goes. Right, so belts are now on. We have the alternator light's gone out, so that's good news. We did have a slight problem with the spade connector on the starter motor. That seems to sort itself out, so the car now starts. We've redone the spade joint on the engine stop. What else have we done? We've oiled up the choke because that wasn't really smooth. And now we're going to sort out, hopefully, a slight overheating issue that I've had with this van ever since the trip to Austria. So we've got the front off and Steve's just having a quick look at this bung. We're thinking maybe airlock. Steve?
Maybe.
Okay, so the van's now running. We've released an airlock in the radiator, which is why there's puddles everywhere. So now hopefully we're going to go for a quick ride and see how this goes. See if the temperature stays at a reasonable level. And we have an alternator. So in other news, Steve has just got in my van and informed me that my steering wheel is complete filth.
You're a dirty animal.
I'm insisting that actually it's just wear and tear, and then he started cleaning it and it's coming off, which is a bit embarrassing. I'll show you now. So this is my steering wheel. It's got stuff like this, you see, which I thought was just wear to the
top up here is
to the steering wheel, and it turns out, Steve, do that again. Yeah, actually, it turns out it's dirt.
This is fingerprints.
But in my defence, I spend a lot of time fiddling around with cars, so my hands are always covered in grease. As is my steering wheel, apparently.
It's like the stuff you find on a...
nice.
You'll find it all on the indicator stalk.
I mean,
especially in women's cars, they have like makeup baked on it. Oh, it's just vile, this is.
And we have no fuel. We're going to go anyway and try and get some fuel.
Anyway, why don't you do this yourself?
Because I'm filming. How can I do 2 things at once? I'm
less time filming and more time doing something constructive.
Well, I am sorry. I'm not really. Okay, let's go. Okay, so that's it for today. Yeah, we've sorted out the overheating problem after 2 years. It turned out to be an airlock at the front of the radiator. It ran really nicely. We went and got some fuel because it was on, literally just on fumes. And yeah, massive improvement. I feel like I've got my confidence back in the vehicle. It's no longer climbing to halfway and then a bit further after 10 minutes, which is just silly. We've also sorted out the starting issue, which is probably a spade connector on the starter. But yeah, so there we go. VW T25 is back. I'm looking forward to using it more often now, which is great because I have faith in it. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please do like, share and subscribe, and check out the other playlists for lots of other cars, including Land Rovers, Citroens, Fiat 500, Classic. And yeah, we'll see you again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.